Now, once you know these things, let me now tell you the shape of the short-run aggregate supply curve. Now, short-run, we have defined as a time period where when, let's say, price levels increase, the wages, they don't change, I should say, in response to these increasing price levels. They may change for other reasons, even in the short run, but we are saying they are sticky in reference to any increase in the price level in the economy. Now, let's assume that there is this certain price level. Let's just simply call it PL1, and let's assume at this price level, initially the aggregate supply, the total output firms decide to produce, let's call that GDP1. We can call it output 1, but since output is equal to GDP, we can also call it the amount of GDP that is being supplied. Now, in the short run, let's assume now that the prices increase to PL2. Now, if we are in the short run and price levels have increased, which means that prices of different products in the economy have started to increase, but short run, we are saying wages will be sticky. Wages in the short run won't start increasing in response to increase in this price level. Now, if that is the case, you see when price levels increase from PL1 to PL2, the profitability of firms will increase because their product's price in line with the increasing price levels will increase. But since wages are sticky, and remember wages are the biggest part of most of the firm's total cost of production. So if wages are sticky, we are saying that look, your product is becoming more expensive, but your wages, your cost of production, they are stuck. They are what they are. But your product's price is increasing, therefore your business will be more profitable for you, and therefore at PL2 you would start supplying or producing a larger amount of aggregate supply as compared to what you were doing at PL1. So let's assume this is this total output or GDP2 that the firms decide to produce. And with the same logic, you can then think of another price level increase to PL3, and therefore the firm's profitability will increase even further. We are in the short run. Price levels have increased. Cost of production is the same because wages are stuck. They are the same. So it is more profitable. So you increase the total amount of output you produce as firms. And that gives you your short run aggregate supply curve, a straight upward sloping line. Now, the reason I mentioned potential output is that you have to remember that in the short run, the economy can go beyond its potential. So if this is your potential GDP, again, remember I'm using this term interchangeably. Potential GDP or potential output or potential aggregate supply all mean the same thing, since GDP is equal to output, and here we are talking about the output that the firms are wishing to supply. Now, the reason why firms can sometimes in the short run produce more than potential is that, you see, let's pick up this price level PL3, which our imaginary aggregate supply curve is telling us is the price level at which the firms will decide to produce at the potential output. Now, if price levels increase even further, let's assume they go to PL4. Then at these price levels, again, the logic is the same, that look, you are producing potential GDP, but now price levels have increased even further. And since we are in the short run, wages and therefore costs of productions are not changing, but our product's price is more expensive. So we will be able to make more profit by selling these now more expensive products. So firms will increase the amount that they produce. Now, how may they go beyond potential GDP? How may they produce more than the country's potential GDP? This is where you need to remember the definition of potential output. It's not the absolute maximum that a country can produce. Potential GDP is the maximum sustainable level of output, where there is only natural unemployment in the economy and your resources, they are being utilized, but in a normal sustainable way, such that your labor and capital and machinery, it is being used from maybe 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 and not 24 hours a day. So this is where we say that, look, if price levels increase beyond what is required to convince firms to produce the potential, then in response to these higher price levels, at least for a short while, the economy will start producing beyond its potential. maybe the firms where they will go and they will try to hire the seasonally unemployed, and they would try to look for anybody who even is free for 2-3 months because things are so profitable, and therefore somehow they can just push the labor they already have. They may use them overtime, they may start running their firms 20 hours a day, so they may in the short run be able to push the country's output beyond potential. Now this is an idea and a concept which is useful as we go along, but other than that, what you need to remember about this short run aggregate supply curve is it is an upward sloping curve, reflecting that as price levels increase, firms will increase or produce more total output, more total aggregate supply. The reason being that in the short run, wages are sticky, they are inflexible. So when price levels increase, firms, their products become more profitable, and therefore they want to or they try to produce more output.